just didn't want to say that for the video.
No, you're fine. This is what I do each time. I take, 2 or 3 paper towels and I hand them to the patient. And I say, when I put this contact in, I'm gonna be putting in a yellow dye inside of it and it's gonna come out and get all over. So I want you to hold this out in front of you so that it gets on the paper towels and not your clothes. Here's a tissue you can use to dab at your eye. I'm gonna put it in your left eye, so just look up. This is a numbing drop. I give them the spiel. I'll spare you. And then, you take the dye stick and your Adipac and you put the contact lens on the inserter and just center it on there.
Pro tip, if you open that first, it's so much easier
Then you don't have
than
to set the
trying
lid back
to
down.
balance everything out.
Yeah.
If that happens, I just ask the patient to open it for me.
So then you fill it, and you want to fill it to where it has a surface tension bubble over the top. So it's like practically overflowing. You can overflow it, it's not gonna matter. But you want it completely filled with the solution. So that's how you want it. You'll see patients that just put a drop or 2 in their contact. And again, I'll always point out, just so you know, this was the manufacturer's recommendation, and then you just stir in the full glow strip into there, get it nice and yellow. It's gonna come out. I mean, we know that, and that's okay. All right, and then I always instruct the patient, go ahead and lean all the way forward. It's really important that you tuck your chin into your chest. Good, keep it tucked all the way in. And then I want you to use your hand to pull down your lower lid. And I'm gonna take the upper lid and I'm gonna pull up out of the way, look straight at the contact. That's perfect. Now, if you see, I stabilize my hand. If I don't, my hand's gonna shake. So I'll stabilize a finger either against their hand or their nose. Go ahead and blink while I'm going up there so that I'm not shaking going up there. If you have a steady hand, congratulations. But I have to stabilize my hand, so just find a touch point that you can. Keep looking right at it. Good, that's perfect. And then you just press up in and then let them start to blink and pull the plunger away. So I get this side on this side, that side on that eye, but it's the same thing. Make sure their chin's all the way tucked in, that you're not going up at an angle at all. They pull down the lower lid, I take the upper. You press up and you're actually pressing on, and then take your hand away, let them start to close their eye and pull it down. That's that. And then you would look underneath the slit lamp with the cobalt blue light to see what the fit looks like, or leave it for the doctor to see, and then if the doctor likes it, they'd say get an over-refract, then we get it out.
If you don't feel comfortable evaluating fit, still look at the contact and make sure there's not a big bubble in there,
Okay.
so that we don't have to take it out and put it back in and then it wastes
Right.
the doctor's time.
And all of these sets have pictures inside of them to say this is a good fit, this isn't. So you can always look and see what you see, and then look inside and see if there's a picture that looks like what you saw in the eye, and it'll tell you, if you see this, it's too steep, go here, or it's too flat. So always a good thing to look, always a good thing to look at the charts and then take it from there if you can. That's always nice. So any questions about inserting? So this is us inserting into a patient's eye. Okay. When you take the contact out and when you're teaching a patient to take the contact out, you need very, very dry fingers. You really need your fingers to be dry. They also recommend taking the 2 fingers that are going to do the extraction and rubbing them together, getting a heat, digital friction on them, and super dry. So if you think there's any moisture there, just keep dabbing it off and then rubbing, getting that friction heat, and then trying to get the contact out. This is going to be a little tricky for everybody to see. So people who are not at all experienced with seeing this get out, put yourselves in the front row and then everybody else kind of come around. You get wherever you need to be to watch how I get it out, because there is a definite trick to this.
Stand over here.
Soft contact lenses, when you put in, you're kind of squeezing across the eye and pinching and pulling the contact out. It is a very, very different process when you're getting out a Synergeyes lens. You're putting your fingers with a very, very narrow opening between the two at the 5 and 7 o'clock position under the RGP. If you're alongside the RGP, you're not gonna be able to get the contact out. You have to be under the RGP, right at 5 and 7, and you're putting it in and you kind of roll your fingers towards one another and you're lifting the contact out more so than pinching and pulling it out. So I'm gonna have you lean your head back. I always use my hand to pull lashes under my fingers, pulling the upper lid up. Same thing, pulling the lower lid down, and then look up. I have them look up. I want that bottom edge of the contact. I'm gonna let you blink. Underneath the RGP. And again, I'll go 5 and 7. And with the soft contact, you're out here and you're sliding your fingers together and pinching it out. This one, your fingers are already together. So, good, just like that. And then as I put my fingers there, it's this little motion and a lift. Okay, these cannot come out with a plunger. I know they have an RGP center, but you can't use a plunger on them, and they are not a coming across the eye, squeeze and pinch like a soft contact lens. It's very specific, and you have to have that exact placement. That's how they come out. So when I'm teaching a patient how to get these out of their own eye, I will put the contact on my finger, and I'll show them. I go just like this, okay, 5 and 7 right there, and it's a lift out. Then I have them put it on their finger and practice on their finger before they're ever practicing on their eye. If you try to get the contact out and it doesn't come out the first time, that's okay. Say, oh, that's okay, sometimes these ones are stubborn. I'm gonna put a few wetting drops in your eye, so you can just use the Adipac and put that in, and you can use any contact lens re-wet drop that's good for soft contact lenses and stuff. Say sometimes you just put a drop or two in there and give it a few minutes and then we'll try it again. Chances are if you're doing a fit and it's hard to get out, then it's probably something's wrong with the fit, because sometimes those ones can be stubborn. If you keep trying and trying and trying to get a Synergeyes out that's not wanting to come out, you will irritate the eye so much that it'll become almost impossible to get out. So you have to give yourself time and breaks in between. So put some drops in there, let it dry, make sure your fingers are really dry again. If you can't get it out the second time, stop. Let the doctor try and get it out, because you can really get ones that'll suction on there because of poor fit. So everybody comfortable with that? So what I want everybody to do is pair up, and you're gonna put a Synergeyes in each other's eyes, and then you're gonna take one out of each other's eyes. And Desi, Caitlin, and I will watch. So how many groups do I have?
I think we're
1,
good.
2, 3, yeah, so, what's that?
I have to take my contacts out.
Only one. I'm gonna put this back in solution over here.
Figure that out.